know that for literal decades, all federal crash test dummies were modeled on men and not women, making women more susceptible to be seriously injured in a crash. Well, that's all about to change. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy unveiled a new design for a female crash test dummy based on female anatomy. The new model uses more than 150 sensors and will be added to federal safety testing once final rules are approved. The DOT noted the changes allow the dummy to collect 3 times more injury measurements than current dummies. Women are impacted differently in crashes compared to men, so this is essential to reduce fatalities. But let me also clarify, according to NPR, in the early 2000s, regulators added a small female dummy to tests. But it was just a scaled-down version of the male dummy with breasts attached. That doesn't reflect the real difference between male and female bodies. The standard crash test dummy used in the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration was developed in 1978 and was modeled for a 5'9", 171-pound man. According to Fortune, it's routinely tested in the passenger or back seat, but seldom in the driver's seat, even though the majority of licensed drivers are women. Take a listen to this. A 2019 study by researchers at the University of Virginia say women wearing seatbelts are more likely to be hurt than their male counterparts. The study found that belted female occupants in cars have 73% greater odds of being seriously injured in frontal car crashes compared with belted men. Chris O'Connor, the CEO of manufacturing company Humanetics, says that the pelvis for a female is more rounded and does not hold the seatbelt in the same way. He also pointed out to differences in just the basic anatomy of a female, with the neck and significant differences in the lower leg that are correlated with much higher rates of leg injuries in women. In fact, studies literally show women are more likely to be injured or killed in a car crash than men. Keep in mind, the majority of licensed drivers, they are women. And just now, women are finally getting this representation. We are about to head into week 3 of this government shutdown. Federal layoffs are underway, and if you're planning to travel by air, you're going to want to listen to this. On Thursday, the Senate rejected motions again to advance funding proposals from both Republicans and Democrats. The Senate adjourned for a 4-day weekend, so that means we can't expect any kind of vote until Tuesday. So if you are planning to travel by air, so if you're planning to get to the airport anytime soon, expect some delays. In fact, airports across the country, they're all experiencing countless hours-long delays, and it's all because of staffing shortages. Over 21,000 flights were delayed this week. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy saying 53% of those delays were caused by sick calls. Duffy now saying workers who call out, they could be fired. The FAA administrator says that the safety and efficiency of air travel in the United States depends on unpaid air traffic controllers showing up for work. But I understand it's a holiday weekend. We also have a lot of holidays coming up. What do you do if you're traveling? We don't know how long this is going to extend. Well, I can say this. It is better to be stuck at home. It is better to be stuck in a hotel or an Airbnb instead of being stuck in an airport terminal. So what you need to do, make sure you're checking your flights on your app. And lastly, the FAA website can also be checked to see if there's any kind of widespread delays at your airport. Payton Marshall here with Eyewitness News, continuing to answer your questions on the government shutdown, specifically the ones impacting this airport turmoil that we're seeing. So Scott right here, he asks, why does air traffic controllers work for the government? Well, air traffic controllers, they work for the FAA, or I should say they work under the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration. The FAA is a governmental body responsible for regulating and overseeing all aspects of civilian aviation. Therefore, traffic controllers, they're considered essential personnel. So if there's a government shutdown, they're still expected to show up for work. But as you guys know, before this government shutdown, there was already a deficit. There was already a shortage of air traffic controllers, making it now with this government shutdown and workers calling out sick, making this a critical situation. These are the scenes out of Louisville, Kentucky, as a UPS cargo plane has crashed near Louisville, Kentucky International Airport. What we know at this time is that 3 people have died and 11 others are injured. What we know is the plane had 3 people aboard when it caught fire on takeoff before crashing and exploding. That's where you're seeing a lot of these photos with the billowing black smoke just over the area. Authorities say at least 2 businesses were hit, but others were impacted. The NTSB is now leading the investigation to find out exactly what happened. The airport remains closed and a shelter-in-place order is still in effect. First responders are warning that the scene is still very dangerous, with fuel and the possibility of explosive materials. Again, these are the numbers that we know
at this time. Governor Andy Beshear says he expects that the toll will rise as they continue this investigation and search through debris. But take a listen to this. There was one man who says he was outside with his son when they noticed things falling from the sky. This question for you. Are you pregnant? Or maybe you know someone who is pregnant who is tired of looking for a parking space. Ohio lawmakers are actually trying to make it easier. Take a listen to Ohio House Bill 450. The bill actually says that it would give a window shield place card, giving parking privileges to women through pregnancy and into those first few months of postpartum. Some may ask, well, where's the controversy in that? Well, disability advocates, they warn it could impact spots reserved for those with disabilities, sparking a debate about fair access and priorities. As of October this year, House Bill 450 is a proposed piece of legislation. The bill is now going to the state Senate for approval. But how exactly would this work, and what does this approval process entail? Well, women would have to apply for the place card through the Ohio BMV. The application would require certification from a healthcare provider that confirms the pregnancy by providing a due date. Women could apply for the place card at any point during their pregnancies, regardless if they are in the first trimester or the third. The cost of the parking place card would be $8, but I'm sure, like Payton, are any other states doing this? Yes, Florida and Illinois. But I really want to know your thoughts. I have several friends who are pregnant, some of them on the second, some of them on their third. I've seen them try to get the kiddos in the car and be pregnant and hold grocery bags. But genuinely, this is a genuine question. What are your thoughts? Do you feel this is a good idea? Or do you also agree or disagree with the concerns that the disability advocates are raising? If you are a parent, specifically a parent of a teen, this is an important message I really want you to hear. OpenAI has now announced that they're actually rolling out parental controls for ChatGPT. So why is this happening right now? At a Senate hearing earlier this month, lawmakers heard from several parents whose children died by suicide after interacting with ChatGPT. Here on Eyewitness News, we specifically spoke about Adam, a 16-year-old who died by suicide. The conversations between Adam and ChatGPT, the chat box, are really hard to read about. I actually don't feel like I can say some of them in this video because the video might get taken down. I'm going to place one of them right here. Adam actually wanted to reach out to his mom. Adam wanted his mom to know what he was going through and what he was considering. He was actually using the chat box as basically a substitute for human companionship. And what the chat box responded is alarming, it's concerning, it's heartbreaking. These parental controls, I really want to emphasize that they are here. So this is what you can do. So if you go onto the website, you can see parents can actually now link their account, again, to their teen's account. They can set specific hours to where their child can access ChatGPT. OpenAI settings is actually set up a system to notify parents if there are any signs a teen is thinking about harming themselves. Something else, you can set quiet hours, you can turn off voice mode, you can turn off the memory. I know that I mentioned Adam, but there's many stories. In fact, in Florida, there's a mom who sued the chatbot platform, Character AI, claiming that one of its AI companions initiated sexual interactions with her teenage son and persuaded him to take his own life. Persuaded is the key word here, which is exactly why I really want to get this information out there, that these parental controls are available. We're going to be breaking this down more in our shows tonight. The Mountain State is hurting tonight on Thanksgiving as we just received confirmation from Governor Patrick Morrisey and also President Trump that 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom has passed away from her injuries Wednesday night. Sarah was one of the two West Virginia guards that were shot in an ambush-style targeted shooting Wednesday night. Sarah was from Summersville, and 24-year-old West Virginia National Guard member Andrew Wolf is from Martinsburg. Right now, Wolf still remains in critical condition. The shooting happened around 2:15 Wednesday afternoon. The two West Virginia Guard members, Wolf and Beckstrom, were injured again in an ambush-style shooting just blocks away from the White House. Authorities say the suspect, 29-year-old Afghan national Rahmanallah Lakanwal, shot each of them multiple times, including shooting one of them when they were already on the ground. Authorities say the suspect was also shot, but is expected to be okay. Here's what we know about the suspect. He worked with the CIA to support U.S. units in Afghanistan. He initially came to the U.S. under humanitarian parole as part of the Biden initiative called Operation Allies Welcome. Once in the U.S., he settled in Washington state with his wife and 5 kids. In 2024, he applied for asylum to remain in the U.S., which the Trump administration granted in April of 2025. I know there's still a lot of questions about what exactly led up to this shooting, more details about the suspect, but right now I think it's important just to focus on the fact that the Mountain State is grieving. There's going to be another vigil that's going to be held tomorrow. There's going to also be one on Saturday. We're going to provide all the information on what we know tonight on Eyewitness News.
Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person. Started service in June of 2023. Outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now. Her parents are with her. It's just happened. She was savagely attacked. She's dead. She's not with us.